Welcome to this deep dive for Scaling Legends. I mean, if you were running a construction business, managing a fleet of heavy machinery, or just trying to keep a massive commercial build on schedule, you are absolutely in the right place. I'm Justine.
And I'm Nicole. Yeah, we're breaking down a really major move in the construction tech space today, specifically a massive $27 million bet that says the future of your job site isn't just digital, it's autonomous.
Right. Let's get right into those numbers because they are just staggering. So a company called Sensera Systems just secured a $27 million Series B funding round.
Led by TAG.
Right. Exactly. Led by TAG. And the goal is to put artificial intelligence directly on your job site. And, this isn't some beta test. Their SiteCloud platform is already active on over 2,000 general contractor accounts.
Which is a huge footprint.
It really is. But here's the piece of data that really forced us to do this deep dive today. If you look at the latest ENR Top Owners Report, construction companies that are adopting AI are outperforming everyone else by 21.8%. Yeah. And on the flip side, the non-adopters have sunk to the bottom 100, dropping 8.2% in performance. So AI monitoring is not like the future of construction. It is happening in the mud right now.
And I mean, the gap between those two numbers, a 21.8% gain versus an 8.2% drop, that's a life or death margin for a scaling construction business.
Oh, absolutely.
It's this rapidly widening gulf between the companies that are evolving and the ones being left behind in the dust.
And to set the stage for you listening, that massive performance gap and the foundational data for today's discussion come directly from Smart Business Automator's Market Intelligence Report.
Right.
Our mission today is to cut through the noise for you. We want to look at why a company like Sensera can pull in $27 million, what these AI camera systems are actually doing out in the real world, and how you can figure out if this tech is a fit for your sites.
Because if you buy the wrong system, it's just an expensive paperweight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just thousands of dollars sitting on a pole.
Yeah. And to understand how Sensera's CEO, Robert Garber, captured those 2,000 GC accounts, we really have to look at the evolution of the hardware itself.
Because it's moved fast, right?
Incredibly fast. We are basically looking at 3 distinct generations of job site AI. And if you don't understand the difference between them, you won't know what you were actually buying.
Which is wild, because it wasn't that long ago that a job site camera was just like a glorified webcam strapped to a telephone pole.
Yeah, exactly.
Mostly used so the project owner could watch the dirt move from their office in another state.
And that is exactly what Generation 1 was. Basic cameras and time-lapse photography.
Right.
It was entirely reactive hardware. You set it up, it took a picture every 10 minutes, and it just sat there.
Just a dumb feed.
Right. If something went wrong on site, say a massive delay in pouring a foundation or a safety incident, you had to manually scrub through hours and hours of footage to figure out what happened.
Well, that sounds awful.
It was a recording device, not a tool. It didn't offer any insights unless a human being was willing to spend half their day watching a video feed.
So it's just a digital filing cabinet for video.
Yeah.
How did we move from that to Generation 2?
So Generation 2 is where the AI actually enters the picture in an analytical way.
Okay.
The cameras start to do more than just record. They start to see and understand the context of what they are looking at.
Like computer vision.
Exactly. The AI is trained via computer vision to flag specific things. So it spots a worker on the 3rd floor without a hard hat, or it notices that a scissor lift has been left in an active traffic lane.
Oh, wow. So it's actively looking.
Yes. It takes all that raw visual data and turns it into organized alerts and reports for the human managers to review.
But it's still waiting for a human to do something about it, right?
Right, exactly.
The AI sees the missing hard hat, pings the superintendent's iPad, and then the super still has to walk across the site to yell at the drywaller.
Yeah, it's analytical, but it's passive. Which leads us to the big buzzword, Generation 3.
Okay, Gen 3. Late on us.
This is what the industry calls agentic AI.
Agentic. Like having agency.
Yes. This is where the system shifts from just flagging problems to making autonomous decisions.
Wait, autonomous? Like it does things on its own?
Yeah. It doesn't just alert you that a storm is rolling in or that the steel delivery is delayed. It can actually adjust the schedules on the fly based on that weather data.
No way.
And it can execute proactive safety interventions before an accident even happens. It operates with agency. It's not just a camera anymore. It's an active participant in the project management.
Okay, I'm trying to picture this on an actual build. Gen 1 is like a dumb security camera you only check after a break-in.
Right.
Gen 2 is like hiring a security guard to watch monitors in a basement. They call you when they see something weird, but you still have to deal with it.
Perfect analogy.
But Gen 3 sounds like having an assistant superintendent who never sleeps, who just sees a problem and fixes the schedule while you're still having your morning coffee.
That's exactly the goal.
But Nicole, I have to push back here.
Go for it.
Think about the reality of a muddy job site. The sheer chaos of 40 different subcontractors, weather delays, moving machinery. Are we really at Gen 3 right now? Or is autonomous scheduling still mostly like tech bro marketing hype designed to raise $27 million?
I'm really glad you brought that up, Justine, because there is absolutely a hype cycle happening.
Yeah, of course there is.
Are we looking at a pure, completely autonomous AI running a complex commercial build entirely unsupervised?
Right, like a robot boss.
No. That level of Gen 3 is still aspirational. But the features of Gen 3 are already deploying, and they are very real.
Give me a tangible example.
Okay, let's say the AI camera system is tracking the framing on the 3rd floor, and through its computer vision, it realizes the framers are 3 days behind schedule.
Happens all the time.
Right. It isn't just sending a generic alert anymore. In some of these advanced platforms, the AI is automatically drafting the schedule adjustments, calculating the downstream impact, and pushing notifications to the electrical and plumbing trades to push their arrival back by 3 days.
Oh, wow. So it's stopping the cascading delays.
Exactly.
Instead of the electricians showing up, standing around for 3 days, and billing you for idle time because the framing isn't done, the AI handles the coordination autonomously.
Precisely. It catches the micro delays before they become macro disasters.
That's huge.
And that mechanism right there is a massive contributor to that 21.8% outperformance for owners.
Okay, that makes the return on investment much clearer. Because if we are seeing that kind of performance bump, the AI has to be solving some massive, expensive, painful problems on the ground.
It really is.
Let's dig into what this looks like in the real world, beyond just the schedule adjustments.
So the real-world applications of this tech generally fall into 4 major buckets: safety, progress tracking, security, and dispute resolution.
Let's start with safety, because that is the highest liability on any site.
Absolutely. In Generation 2, it was just looking for hard hats. Now the AI is doing real-time detection of complex PPE violations, identifying fall hazards, and immediately flagging exclusion zone breaches.
Okay, explain that last one. What does an exclusion zone breach actually look like to an AI?
Imagine a crane operator is moving a massive load of steel beams across the site. The area directly underneath that path is an exclusion zone. Nobody should be walking there.
Right, it's a death trap.
Exactly. The AI camera maps that zone digitally. If a subcontractor absent-mindedly cuts across that path to get to the coffee truck, the AI instantly detects the breach.
Wow.
Yeah, it can trigger an immediate on-site alarm or notify the safety officer in real time, potentially stopping a fatal accident.
That is incredible from a liability standpoint.
It changes everything.
And what about progress tracking? How does the camera actually know if a wall is framed correctly or if a concrete pour is on schedule?
This is where we have to talk about how the technology actually works under the hood.
Okay.
The AI isn't just looking at a flat 2D picture. These platforms use computer vision to overlay the live camera feed onto your project's 3D BIM building information modeling files.
So it's constantly comparing the digital blueprint of what should be there against the physical reality of what is actually there.
Exactly. It creates a digital mesh of the job site and superimposes it over the architect's model.
That is wild.
It's looking for discrepancies down to the inch. If a pipe is installed 2 feet to the left of where the blueprint says it should be, the AI catches it immediately.
Wow, so you don't find out 3 weeks later when the drywall is already up and you have to tear it all down just to move the pipe.
Right. That alone saves thousands of dollars in rework.
I can imagine. And then you have the security bucket, which is straightforward but crucial after hours, motion detection, and equipment tracking.
Yeah, we all know how much copper and lumber just mysteriously walk off job sites in the middle of the night.
Oh, for sure. But Nicole, you mentioned dispute resolution as the 4th bucket, and I think this is where the real money is.
Oh, definitely.
Because the average construction dispute right now costs a staggering $60.1 million.
It's painful just to hear that number.
Right. And when a lawsuit hits, it usually comes down to 2 sides arguing over who caused a delay, relying on messy, handwritten, coffee-stained daily logs from, 6 months ago.
Oh, the classic he said, she said.
Exactly. Subcontractor A blames subcontractor B, and the general contractor is stuck footing the bill.
That is the grim reality of construction litigation. It's an absolute nightmare. What AI monitoring provides is an indisputable, time-stamped evidentiary record.
It's objective truth.
Yes, it removes the human memory element from the equation entirely. If the drywallers claim they couldn't start because the framers left trash everywhere, you don't have to rely on a foreman's memory.
You just check the tape.
You pull up the AI-verified photographic proof of exactly what the site looked like on that specific Tuesday at 8 a.m.
And I want to highlight something from Smart Business Automator's market intelligence report on this exact topic.
Yeah, that's a great point.
They found that automated schedule risk detection and objective daily logging are the primary shields against these $60 million litigation nightmares.
It's legal armor.
Exactly. It's not just about building a structure faster, it's about building legal armor around your company. But Nicole, I have a major concern here regarding the human element.
Okay, what are you thinking?
Managing a job site is tough work, and it relies heavily on trust between the trades and the supers.
Absolutely.
If this AI is constantly flagging every single PPE violation, every time someone steps an inch over a line, doesn't this create a toxic, Big Brother surveillance culture?
Yes, it can.
How are the top general contractors balancing this intense safety enforcement with crew morale?
You've hit on the absolute biggest hurdle for implementation right there. The technology is brilliant, but if you bungle the human rollout, it will fail miserably.
Because nobody likes being watched all day.
Right. If a project manager uses the AI purely as a stick to punish workers, like sending out disciplinary emails every time a hard hat comes off for 30 seconds, morale will plummet instantly.
And you know what happens next on a job site?
The cameras mysteriously get covered in mud.
Or accidentally hit by a forklift. Oops.
Exactly. The hardware gets sabotaged. The companies that are actually succeeding with this tech are framing it completely differently.
Also?
They are using it as a shield for the workers, not a weapon against them. They use the data for systemic, operational improvements.
Give me an example of how that works in practice.
Let's say the AI flags that workers keep crossing an active exclusion zone, breaching safety protocols a dozen times a day.
Okay.
A bad manager uses that data to fire a bunch of workers. A good manager looks at the AI data, walks the site, and realizes that the temporary fencing and the placement of the porta potties force the crew to take a massive, exhausting detour.
Oh, so they're taking a shortcut because the layout is bad.
Right. The workers are crossing the exclusion zone because the site layout is terrible. So the manager fixes the layout, moves the facilities, and the safety breaches drop to zero.
That is a phenomenal distinction. It has to be framed around collective safety and making the workers' jobs easier, not micromanagement.
It's a tool to fix the underlying process, not a tool to hunt for scapegoats.
So if we pull all of this together, you have $60 million on the line for disputes, you have safety liabilities hanging over every single project, and you have schedule bleed.
It's a perfect storm.
It makes total sense that the people ultimately footing the bill for all of this risk are finally stepping in. I'm talking about the insurance companies.
And this is the massive industry catalyst, Justine. This is the domino falling that is shifting AI from a nice-to-have luxury item for massive firms down to an absolute mandate for everyone else.
Wow.
The insurance carriers are looking at the same data we are, and they are making aggressive moves.
Before we get into the mandate, let's map out the heavy hitters in this platform landscape. Sensera is obviously making massive waves with their $27 million war chest and their SiteCloud platform.
Yeah, they are huge right now.
But they are far from alone in this space. You've got OpenSpace, which is a major player because they have incredibly deep ties and integrations with Autodesk.
Right.
You've got Buildots, Versatile, Duca AI, and Aerosite.
And you really need to keep your eye on Aerosite specifically regarding that insurance shift.
Why is that?
Because Zurich Insurance, one of the biggest underwriters in the commercial construction space, is now actively mandating the use of cameras through platforms like Aerosite.
Wait, mandating? As in, you have to have it?
Yes. We have been tracking this shift, and it completely rewires the industry. When a major insurer like Zurich tells a contractor that they must have AI camera monitoring on site just to get a liability policy, the adoption curve goes completely vertical.
Because it completely changes the ROI math for a contractor.
Exactly.
If you're a mid-sized GC, you're no longer sitting in a boardroom debating if this software will save your project managers 3 hours a week. It's literally a survival calculation.
You buy the system or you become uninsurable.
But Nicole, that kind of pressure creates a massive new risk.
Which is?
If Zurich is forcing your hand, or if you're just terrified of falling into that bottom 100 of E&R's report, how do you avoid panic buying a system?
Oh, that's a huge problem.
How do you keep from getting locked into a technology ecosystem that your supers hate and that doesn't actually fit your company's workflow?
That is exactly what happens when regulatory or insurance pressure outpaces education. Contractors rush to buy a solution just to check the insurance box.
Right, they just want the policy.
Yeah, they sign a 3-year contract, and they end up with a very expensive, highly complex camera system that their project managers flat out refuse to use.
So how do they avoid that trap?
You have to strip away the panic. You need to evaluate these 6 major platforms methodically.
Let's give the listener a playbook for that right now. Because if you are being pushed by performance gaps on one side and insurance mandates on the other, you desperately need a bulletproof framework to choose the right tech without, setting your money on fire.
Absolutely. We can break this down into a strict 4-step evaluation framework.
Okay, step 1.
Step 1, identify your core problem. You cannot buy AI just to say you have AI.
It's not just a shiny toy.
Right. What is the actual bleeding neck issue on your job sites? Are you primarily trying to solve a safety liability issue? Are you bleeding money because your subcontractors keep screwing up the interior progress?
Or are you getting crushed by overnight site theft?
Exactly. So the platform has to match the pain point.
Makes sense.
Sensera might be fantastic for overall site visibility and exterior tracking, but if your main issue is tracking granular interior progress, like knowing exactly how many linear feet of drywall were hung yesterday, a platform like BuildOts might be better.
Because they specialize in matching hard-ad camera video to BIM models.
Right. You have to know what you are solving first.
Okay, so step 1 is the problem. Step 2 has to be the money.
Always. Step 2 is calculating the ROI. You need to measure the hard costs of the platform against the specific measurable savings it will generate.
And it's more than just administrative time, right?
Oh, beyond just hours saved. Are you getting a direct drop in your insurance premiums by adopting this? How much is your dispute mitigation worth?
Yeah, like we said, if this system provides the time-stamped evidence to avoid just one $60 million lawsuit, the hardware pays for itself in the next century.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've identified the problem and we've justified the cost. What is step 3?
Step 3 is PM integration, project manager integration. This is where most tech rollouts go to die. Does this shiny, expensive new AI platform actually talk to your existing project management tools?
I'm going to pause you right here because this is so incredibly vital. Because according to Smart Business Automator's Market Intelligence Report, API and system integration failures are like one of the biggest bottlenecks for scaling construction companies today.
Yep, it's a massive issue.
When we say API failures, we are talking about the digital bridge between software platforms. If the digital bridge that connects your new AI cameras to your existing scheduling software like Procore or whatever your teams use, if that bridge is broken or non-existent, it's a disaster.
It creates massive friction. If your project managers have to log into a completely separate dashboard, remember a different password, and manually export reports just to see the AI alerts.
They simply won't do it.
Exactly. They are already overworked. The software becomes shelfware.
Shelfware. I love that term.
The visual data from the AI needs to flow seamlessly into the workflows and dashboards they already live in every single day.
It has to make their life easier, not give them homework.
Right. Which brings us to step 4, and I think this is the hidden trapdoor of the whole industry.
Let me guess. Data ownership.
You got it. Data ownership.
This is arguably the most complex step. Who actually owns the raw footage and the actionable insights generated by the AI?
It's a huge question because you are capturing thousands of hours of highly specific data about how your company builds, schedules, and moves materials.
Buying an AI platform where you don't own the data is like hiring a photographer to take your family photos, but buried in the contract is a clause that lets them sell your family's faces to a billboard company. You paid them for the service, but they are monetizing your reality for keeping the profits.
That is a perfect way to look at it, honestly. These massive AI platforms are hungry. They need unfathomable amounts of visual data to train their machine learning algorithms to get smarter.
So our data is their product.
Yes. Your job site footage is incredibly valuable to them. You have to read the fine print in these contracts.
What are we looking for?
Are they allowed to use your proprietary site data, your efficiencies, your mistakes, your unique build processes to train their models, which they then turn around and sell to your direct competitors across the street?
Ouch. But let me challenge you on the real-world dynamics of this, Nicole.
Sure.
How much leverage does a mid-sized GC actually have to negotiate data ownership? If these massive tech platforms need this footage to survive, can a regional builder in Ohio really demand that an international giant like OpenSpace or Sensera change their terms of service?
It's a fair question. If you are an individual mid-sized GC, you probably don't have the leverage to strike out entire clauses in their core terms of service.
Right. They'll just say, take it or leave it.
But your leverage lies entirely in your choice of platform before you sign the contract. During the evaluation phase, you make data ownership a pass-fail criterion. Some platforms in this landscape are inherently more open and protective of client data. They use data privacy as a major selling point to win your business over their competitors. You vote with your wallet.
That makes sense.
Furthermore, even if you can't stop them from using the visual data, you can often negotiate how that data is anonymized.
So they strip out the identifying info.
Exactly. You might not be able to stop the AI from learning what a generic steel beam looks like from your footage, but you can absolutely ensure that your company's specific scheduling metadata, your financial variances, and your proprietary workflows are legally firewalled.
That is the power of having a framework. You aren't just blindly reacting to a $27 million headline or panicking over it. To see exactly how it protects your margins and your intellectual property.
And, as we look at how aggressively this technology is evolving from dumb pole-mounted cameras to agentic AI that autonomously adjusts complex schedules and prevents fatal accidents, it leaves us with a massive looming implication for the future of the construction workforce.
I know you've been thinking about the long-term impact of this Gen 3 shift. What is your final thought on where this leaves us?
Well, if these AI platforms are already moving into agentic Gen 3 territory right now, making those autonomous scheduling adjustments based purely on what the cameras see, how long until the AI takes the next step?
That's the next step.
How long until the camera identifies a structural deviation, cross-references the architect's BIM file, and directly drafts the change orders and the request for information, entirely bypassing the human project manager?
Oh, wow.
And the bigger question is, are construction companies structurally, legally, and culturally ready for that level of automation?
Are we ready to trust the machine with the checkbook and the client relationships? That is a terrifying and thrilling question to leave hanging. It's something every owner listening needs to be thinking about right now. And, speaking of the checkbook and managing all of this incredible data, if you are looking to automate those RFIs, catch spec gaps early, and handle smart document organization right now, you should visit smartbusinessautomator.com.
Definitely worth checking out.
You can see exactly how their AI project assistant is helping construction companies scale up without drowning their project managers in administrative work. It's the kind of seamless integration we talked about today that makes all of this technology actually work for you instead of creating more headaches.
It really is all about managing the complexity of the data so your teams can focus on what they do best, building the project.
Absolutely. So to you listening, if you know a contractor who's dealing with evaluating AI for their job site or worrying about insurance mandates, send them this deep dive. It could save them from investing in the wrong technology ecosystem. Hit follow on whatever app you're listening on so you don't miss tomorrow's intel. Keep building, keep scaling, and we will see you next time.